War does not start suddenly. One day, suddenly a fighter jet takes off, and the moment a missile drops, we think that war has begun. However, actual wars are prepared long before that. And there is one peculiar aspect to this Middle Eastern war. Just a few hours after the Israeli airstrikes began, the supreme leader of Iran and the military leadership have died simultaneously. How could this happen? And the more astonishing fact is that this attack may not be a mere coincidence, but rather a planned operation that has been in the works for a long time. Today, we will take a closer look at the hidden background of the war that has unfolded between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Israel suddenly launched a large-scale airstrike targeting the entire region of Iran. It was not just a simple warning attack. In a single operation, hundreds of targets were attacked simultaneously. Hundreds of fighter jets were mobilized, and numerous military facilities were struck simultaneously. This was a clear message. Now, it was a message that war had begun, not just a conflict. And right after this airstrike, the United States officially announces the commencement of a large-scale military operation. The goal set by the United States was clear. The goal was to destroy Iran's missile industry, eliminate nuclear-related facilities, and neutralize military capabilities. However, there was another purpose behind it. It is shaking the regime itself. At the heart of this war is the nuclear issue. Iran has been pursuing its nuclear program for a long time. Officially, it has been claimed to be for nuclear power generation. The international community has been skeptical about the possibility of nuclear weapons development. In particular, the level of uranium enrichment has increased significantly recently. There are analyses suggesting that enrichment has progressed to a stage close to the manufacturing of nuclear weapons. The United States has made a strong demand to Iran. All enriched uranium will be exported abroad to permanently halt the nuclear program and accept international inspections. However, Iran did not accept this demand. Instead, I made another suggestion. I will lower the concentration level. I will suspend the concentration for a certain period. Alternatively, let's establish an international joint management system. However, the United States' position was simple. It was a complete surrender. Ultimately, the negotiations broke down. And not long after, the war began. But here, the most interesting story emerges. Why did the attack start on that particular day? According to some reports, the United States and Israel are. It is said that the senior leadership of Iran has been tracking the moment when a meeting is held at the same location for a long time. And that day has finally arrived. As soon as the airstrikes began, Iran's supreme leader and military leadership were simultaneously attacked. As a result, several key figures were eliminated at once. This is not just a simple bombing. It was a targeted attack based on accurate information and timing. The very beginning of the war was essentially a military operation. More surprising than the military attack was the information warfare. As soon as the war began, Iran's internal systems started to shake. Reports have emerged that the state-run telecommunications company has been hacked. Apps and networks used by soldiers. A strange message has appeared. Messages indicating defeat in war, messages encouraging desertion, and information that induces confusion. This is not just a simple battle. It was a depiction of modern warfare where information warfare and psychological warfare occurred simultaneously. However, Iran did not remain idle either. Iran has launched missile attacks targeting U.S. military bases in the Middle East. The problem is that these bases, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates. It is located in the territory of another country. In the end, this war is. It shows the potential to spread beyond the conflict between the two countries and throughout the entire Middle East. And there is a place that the whole world is most concerned about. It is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow strait is a key passage for the world's energy supply. About 20% of the world's crude oil passes through here. In particular, South Korea and Japan heavily rely on this route. If this strait is blocked, oil prices are soaring, which could lead to a significant shock to the global economy. So right now, the whole world is closely watching the situation here. To understand this war, we need to go back a little further in time. In 2023, Hamas attacked Israel. Since then, the balance in the Middle East has started to gradually shake. The Hamas leadership has been eliminated, and Hezbollah has also suffered significant damage. The Syrian regime has also weakened. And now, Iran stands at the center of the war. Some experts believe this trend. It is analyzed as a restructuring of the power dynamics in the Middle East. No one knows how this war will unfold in the future. However, a few important variables are clear. What level of retaliation Iran will choose. Whether the Strait of Hormuz will actually be blocked. And how much other countries in the Middle East will get involved in the war. Another important variable is the internal situation in Iran. Some citizens are discussing the possibility of a change in government. However, at the same time, there is also strong opposition. History often moves through a single event. However, behind that incident lies years of accumulated conflict and political calculations. This war did not start suddenly either. Prolonged negotiations and conflicts. Information warfare and military strategy. All of that exploded into a single moment. And now, the world is. We may be standing in front of another huge turning point.